town loses workforce after immigration crackdown. So, Kira, what's happening here?
Yeah, okay. So this is, again, from not my hometown, but my home state of Iowa. Business owners in a small town in Iowa are struggling to stay in business due to sweeping immigration crackdowns across the state. So Mount Pleasant is in Henry County, Iowa, where there is a 2.3% unemployment rate. And this rate is so low that employers are actually struggling to fill 300 open jobs. One small business owner said that it's so hard to get people in the door just to sit down and interview, and you're so afraid you're going to scare them off. Any little thing you do, they won't show up for their first day of work. Like a lot of business owners in Iowa, these business owners are, saying that the one solution to chronic labor shortage is to encourage more outsiders to come to the state, and that actually includes immigrants. So this is a controversial position throughout Iowa, where the state has passed legislation aimed at discouraging illegal immigration. It also is home to some of the most vociferous critics of illegal immigration, including Republican Representative Steve King. So Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa signed a bill that will have Iowa cities and counties who violate federal immigration law they'll cut state funding to counties and cities that are violating federal immigration law. So basically, this whole idea of sanctuary cities is being taken away from, that opportunity is being taken away from any counties in Iowa.
Okay.
And the threat being that they will take away state funding from those counties and cities if they don't uphold federal immigration law. So that's what's happening. And cities and counties across Iowa are seeing these being, these laws being put into effect by basically officials showing up and taking workers away from, literally taking workers away from their job. In one story, they talked about, federal immigration agents sweeping into the precast concrete plant in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and arresting 32 men who were working there.
Okay, so here's the thing. So here's the thing. You got to remember that immigrants do pay into our system. They do help pay and keep Social Security afloat. They do pay taxes. And
it looks like $11.6 billion a year in taxes is what undocumented immigrants are bringing into our tax system.
Right. And so now that we look at this, why are we implementing policies that are going to shoot us ourselves in the foot? See, the thing is that you have these politicians now passing these policies and basically making people afraid of the other, making people afraid of the unknown. Well, let's just get through. Let's just remember that in life, you're always going to run to people that are different than you. You're always going to run to situations and environments that are different. But that's human life. That's human nature. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. And we got to accept the fact that, we're going to live in a very diverse world. And passing policies that are regressive and harming people will only hurt you in the end. And now you have this community that's suffering because the workforce is gone. And if there's no workforce, how is a community supposed to survive? How is a community supposed to get back on its feet if people are just afraid to go to work because they know that in this said city or district or state, because of where they're from, they're going to go to jail.
And all this talk that Republicans have about helping small business owners, you see it time and again that is just absolutely not the case. Small business owners are not being helped by, legislation like this. Workers are getting taken away. And Iowans say they don't really have a problem with people coming into Iowa from other countries. They just don't like illegal immigration. And they suggest that businesses pay more to lure native Iowans into the workforce. But a lot of business leaders are also really worried that voices like their Representative King's sends messages that keep people away. So there's this tug of war going on between people who are trying to hire labor and people who are very freaked out by the other, and just to buttress your point, Kit, about the perks of having immigrants, outside of just the amazing amounts of diversity that it brings into our country. And with diversity brings so much creativity and so much capital.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, truly does.
And there's a thing before I let you say, there's something that we need to remember is that we don't know where the next great innovator is going to be at, the next great doctor or political leader or lawyer or scientist. We don't know where these minds are going to come from. And the thing is, in America's history, some of our best minds came from people who immigrated from their country, came here, had an idea, used it, and the country benefited from it. We're shooting ourselves in the foot, again, because of stupid, regressive policies to make people afraid, to keep those in power, but at the end of the day, it doesn't help. So, Kira?
Yeah, when we say that this country is built on immigration, it's not just lip service. It literally was. And it still is built upon immigration. And what we're really doing is slowing down our economy by not allowing these immigrants to go to work. You know, immigrants, actually, one of the things that I found was immigrants don't actually take American jobs. Because immigrants tend to come in with less education and they're willing to do the jobs that a lot of Americans who actually have a high school diploma don't necessarily, you know, and we're not talking like bachelor's degrees. We're not talking even associate's degrees. I think it's 26% of immigrants that come into the United States don't even have a high school degree. So these folks are working in dangerous jobs. They're working in jobs where they're picking fruit. They're working in these concrete factories. So there are a lot of jobs out there that Americans just aren't taking up. And maybe it is because wages are low, but then that just brings me to the conversation for raising the minimum wage. I mean, there's there you go. If people are having an issue with business owners paying their labor cheaper, then there's a way to go about taking care of that issue as well. Another thing that immigrants do for our economy is they actually populate our population. And what I mean by that is not only by immigrating into the country is our country growing, but also the children that they're having. Right now, one of the stories that I actually almost brought up for today's show was that our birth rate here in America is at an all-time low.
Well, yeah, gee, I wonder what's leading to that. Environmental issues, student debt, housing crisis, you know, lack of jobs.
Who knows? But I mean, those are just stabs in the dark, right?
Right.
It's probably all those feminists and that birth control and abortion, right?
Who knows?
So more people are in the economy as a result of immigration, and more people means more money. And the reason for that is, like we mentioned before, $11.6 billion a year from immigrants who are not actually taking money out of the system either. So it's literally like pure profit for our government. So, but it also means that more services are going to be in need when we have a bigger population. So that does mean more jobs. That does mean higher paid jobs in a lot of ways, and also a lot of opportunity for small businesses, because children of immigrants tend to start small businesses and work harder than Americans.
You know, I think one other note too we got to take away from this is that, look, immigrants are people too. They're human beings just like us, have their own same fears and wants and dreams and everything else. But how you treat a person is how you're going to get treated back. And the United States and how it treats immigrants is, well, horrific. It's stagnant. This isn't what the bastion of what freedom's supposed to be like. And look, I remember when myself and Daniel covered a story last summer at the Gary Chicago International Airport. It's an airport in the middle of nowhere. And the purpose of this airport is where it basically takes detained immigrants who, mind you, did non-violent offenses, and they're chained up like animals, forced to crawl up onto the airplane. And this facility basically deports people, 3 busloads, who are in the Michigan State area, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Kentucky. And who wants to be treated like that? And then you could see why people are leaving these said towns and communities and even the country as a whole, because it's no longer really safe or even affordable to even continue living here. And is that the message we want to tell the international community? Come to America? Oh, wait, but you have to meet X, Y, and Z before we can let you in.
But we'll never let you succeed.
Yeah, it's backwards. And this is why we have to get involved during this presidential election cycle, because if we don't, We're going to see more policies like this, but we're also going to see a decrease in our population too, a decrease in our workforce, and a lack of real respect of coming to this country in order to build yourself up. Like I said before, some of our best creative minds came from immigrants or were descended from an immigrant family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
and just as a capper to this story, many of the men that were arrested at the Midwest Precast Concrete are remaining in the area, and they're waiting for their deportation hearings. They're caught in a bit of a catch-22 right now, because if they return to their home countries before the hearings, they forfeit their bonds and are considered felons under U.S. law. But because they're not allowed to work legally, they have no way of supporting themselves. So they're getting by with the help of local churches and pro-immigration groups.
Hey, did you like that video? Well, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, hit that thumbs up icon, so that way you know when we upload more content to the Hard Lens Media YouTube channel. So Daniel, what else can we do to really put everything into this?
Well, we've invested everything we have into this company, so you can help us out by going to our Patreon page and giving us the equivalent of going to Starbucks once a day, which I think is about $50. Please help us out. We want to build more and grow. We will see you in the next video.